Hi.
Welcome back.
We are so happy to be back answering your questions. So I'm Brooke.
I'm Kenzie.
And this is You've Got Questions.
We've got answers.
So we are here to answer just as many questions as we can for you. So if you are new to You've Got Questions, We've Got Answers, go ahead and put your questions in the chat. And we will do our best to answer those questions. We're coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So it may take up to 10 minutes to answer your questions, but please be patient. We will answer those questions in the order in which we receive them. So, Kens, what is today? Why are we on here?
Today is our enrollment deadline. So what that means is that you need to start your application today in order to progress in the online degree program or to start Pathway Connect.
Yeah.
So for Pathway Connect, it's a bit of a softer deadline because technically if you still start your application after today, there's a chance that we could get you in, but we can only guarantee it if you start your application today.
Yeah.
For online degrees, if you're going into either BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College, you have to get your application started today. Yep. No questions asked.
Yep.
So do it.
Yeah. Otherwise, you've got to wait to start until January. So that's if you are a direct admit student going directly to BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College online, or if you finish Pathway Connect 103 and aren't there yet. Okay. So first question is, what is the tuition discount?
Okay, there are a couple of tuition discount options. I'll talk about HJG, you talk about missionary.
Got it.
The Heber J. Grant Scholarship is available to every student. It's basically a guaranteed minimum 10% discount on your tuition. If you're looking for what the tuition rates are, go to BYU-Pathway.edu/tuition to find the rate in your country. For example, in the United States, it's $83. So what you'll do is after you've applied, you'll log into your student portal and you'll see a box there advertising the Heber J. Grant Scholarship. Click into that. You'll go through the module. It asks you questions, or it tells you about the life of Heber J. Grant. You'll answer some questions about your financial situation and kind of about what you learned about Heber J. Grant. And then your responses will be evaluated and you'll be granted either a 10, 25, or 50% off scholarship.
And that tuition discount is good for up to 2 years. And if there are changes along the way in what's happening in your finances, you can work with your mentor to see what other opportunities might be available. The second tuition discount stacks with the Heber J. Grant tuition discount. So if you have come home from a mission in the last 5 years, you are eligible for the missionary tuition discount. So it's 25% off and it's good for the 5 years from the day you return home. So let's say you came home 2 years ago and you're ready to get into school now. It's going to be good for up to 3 years during your time with BYU-Pathway.
And one clarification on Heber J. Grant. Brooke mentioned that it's good for 2 years. You redo it every 2 years. So you'll always have the discount, but they just reevaluate it every 2 years.
Yeah.
But missionary is just 5 years from the day you return home.
Yeah. So if you're, what's the minimum GP for a fresh student? So I think she's looking at what's the minimum grade point average for a new student. So in order to finish Pathway Connect and go on to online certificates and degrees, it's a 3.0. So for those of you who might not be familiar with a grade, like a GPA or a grade point average, it equates to a B average. So that doesn't mean you have to get a B every term. You could get an A and a B minus. It'll all sort of even out. But you need to have at least a 3.0 in order to continue on to BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College online. Can I transfer my credits from an Alamo college? So BYU Pathway is very credit friendly. We like to say no credit left behind. So we will do just about as much as we can to try to evaluate those credits and give you credit for what we can. So if you go to BYU-Pathway.edu/admissions/transfer-credits, you can get an unofficial evaluation and it'll sort of let you know, hey, here's which classes are likely to transfer and likely to help you move on. So if you're just tuning in and joining us, I'm Brooke.
I'm Kenzie.
And this is You've Got Questions.
We've got answers.
And what the format is, you're going to put your questions in the chat about BYU Pathway, about online certificates and degrees, English Connect, anything that really might help you make your decision. You can put those in the chat and we will do our best to get those answered for you in a timely manner. Okay, the next question is, at what point of Pathway Connect can you start choosing classes to choose which certificate you want?
So during PC 102, you're going to choose your first certificate and actually register for your first certificate class that you'll take with PC 103. So you choose it in PC 102 to move on and take that first certificate class with PC 103.
It's perfect. Do I need my ecclesiastical completed in order to start my application? No. So for BYU Pathway, when you start with Pathway Connect, there's actually no ecclesiastical endorsement needed. And then if you are starting your application for BYU Idaho and Ensign College, you do not need to have your ecclesiastical endorsement done. That you'll have the next couple of weeks to finish that.
It would be a good time to start scheduling those.
Yes.
But you don't need it completed to start your application.
So, but in order to start classes in September, you need to have started your application tonight for BYU Idaho or Ensign College. So you've got about 2.5 hours to get that application started. May I know how to study in Hawaii? So BYU Pathway has a unique partnership with BYU Hawaii. For those that live in Asia, the Pacific, or the Philippines, you can start with BYU Pathway, and then you can transfer to BYU Hawaii. And so we've got a whole web page about it. But what you're going to want to do is first start with BYU Pathway. You'll finish Pathway Connect. You'll still need to take the English exam and actually apply to BYU Hawaii, but you'll have an opportunity to indicate that you completed Pathway Connect, and that will help with your application.
Do you know what that webpage is?
I don't off the top of my head, but if you just Google BYU Pathway, BYU Hawaii, there's a news article that will come up with more information.
Cool.
All right. We're working on our next question. But go ahead and ask any questions in the chat. We are going to be on for the next 45 minutes or so, here to answer whatever questions I can. Okay, so Ken, the next question is, I am attending BYU Idaho online via BYU Pathway. I'm a business major and I want to work in sports. How does BYU Pathway make that possible?
That is a really great question. I love how you like pre-assigned that to me.
Well, I realized that I just started reading and answering. You got to answer some too, but I'm happy to take this one.
No. So I think that I would probably do some research with the specific jobs in the sports field that you're looking for, figure out what the qualifications are, and see how they align with the classes that you're taking.
And also depending on what kind of what kind of job you want in sports, there are lots of business jobs. So prior to working for BYU Pathway, I worked for an airline, and they had people that worked in finance and communication and marketing, and basically any type of field was needed for the airline. And so that's the same with sports. So I would say, look at what sport are you interested in? Are there any things that team might require or would be helpful to have experience in? What is the link to start the application process?
BYUpathway.edu/admissions is a great place to start. You can look at our preferred path, which is starting with Pathway Connect, 6 months of basically introductory courses that lock in a lower tuition rate, or advanced path. If you have a lot of college credit already behind you, you can jump right into your online degree courses.
The page didn't let me enter on the student portal. Why? Okay, so if you're having issues logging into your student portal, if you can send us a direct message on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and go in and let us know what your name and your student ID is, we can have our IT team look into it. There is a way where you can submit a ticket yourself. So if you go to BYUpathway.edu, and then in the lower right-hand corner, there's a button that says Need Help, Chat with Us. And so that guide bot will be able to help you answer some questions and to submit a ticket. But send us a direct message so that we can reach out to our team and better understand what's happening. All right. I've completed my C1 through C3. which I'm not sure what that.
PC 101.
Oh, maybe PC 101
I
and
think
PC
so.
103. Yeah. But my degree audit is still showing incomplete. Who can I get in touch to correct this? I am applying for graduating with my Bachelor of Science in Applied Business. Oh, certificates 1 through 3. I'm applying for
that
my
makes more sense.
graduation for my Bachelor of Science in Applied Business Management for fall semester. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's super exciting. So there's a couple of things that might be happening. So with your degree, it's not just about finishing the 3 certificates. There's also general education classes and religion classes. So you need to meet all of those course requirements in order to graduate. So that might be part of what's going on. The other thing that you can do is in your student portal, in the lower right-hand corner, you're going to be able to access the chatbot and submit a ticket and say, hey, this is what's happening. Can someone help? And so submitting a ticket using the chatbot on your student portal is going to be the best and fastest way to get an answer for your specific situation. Okay, what do I have to do to transfer from Pathway Connect over to BYU Idaho?
Okay, so in your student portal, when you're logged in, go to the upper right corner and click your name, and there's going to be an online application for you to advance either to BYU Idaho or Ensign College.
Yeah. So if you are looking to do BYU Idaho or Ensign College online, it's as simple as what Kenzie just said. You just need to go in and start your application there. If you are interested in becoming a campus student, you are going to need to work with BYU Idaho directly on that application. Okay, after this September admission, when next can I enroll or get admitted?
That would be January is our next start date.
Yep. So January 2025. I'm a student. I'm so excited to begin my first course at Ensign College next month. Oh, that's awesome. We're very excited for you too. I love education.
No, that is
I
so
love
exciting. Yes.
Celebrating others.
I know. It's so great.
Okay, so Jordan says, I know for the bachelor's program after Pathways, you receive a max amount of years to complete your degree. What is the max amount of years you are allowed to complete your degree in? So technically, there's actually not a time bound for completing it, but we recommend doing it in 7 years or less so that your catalog year remains the same. So what that means is when you start your online degree program, you are assigned a catalog year with different requirements for your degree or certificates. And so over time, those requirements may change or adapt. And so in order for your degree to stay current, you need to finish all of those classes for that track within 7 years. Now, if you need to take a break and it takes you longer, you can do that, but you may need to take more classes in order to fulfill the requirements for your position or for the degree you're looking for. And right now it's taking about 15 minutes to answer your question. So please make sure that just give us a little bit of patience as we work through all of this. We want to do our best to answer every question as thoroughly as we can. So pop your question in the chat and Kenzie and I will get it answered. All right. This is from Maxine. Will Pathways help me find a job after I finish my certificate?
So yeah, a lot of times when you have a certificate, you can qualify for jobs that you can look for in your area. Whether that's like the area that you live or your area of study, you might be able to find a remote job. We also have some employer partners that you can, I know mentors have, some of your mentors might have some information about jobs that you can look into. One that we mentioned in our previous slide was hirebloom.com. But yeah, most students, I shouldn't say most, a lot of students after completing their first degree are either able to find a job if they didn't have one or to advance in their job.
Yeah. So, and we have a team that's constantly looking at building those relationships and trying to help. And so we will continue, like, for example, if we hear of a job opportunity in a specific region or interest level, sometimes we'll send an email to students that meet those requirements and say, hey, there's an opening in your area or in your field of study. Make sure to, check this out.
I would also recommend joining our alumni and friends LinkedIn group. It's called BYU-Pathway Alumni and Friends. Go and join the group and post in there and ask people like, hey, who's completed the certificate and what jobs are you finding? It's a great networking opportunity.
Absolutely. Once I finish Pathway Connect, can I take classes spring and winter?
Yes. So you can take classes year round with BYU Pathway, whether you're in Pathway Connect or whether you're a BYU Pathway student getting an online degree from BYU Idaho Ensign College.
Mhm.
So that goes all the way from September through July, and then the year starts over again.
Awesome. Do I have to be a member of the church to join BYU Pathway?
You do not. We have lots of friends of the church who are involved in BYU Pathway. You will need to go to churchofjesuschrist.org to create a single sign-on, just so that you have the credential to be able to apply, but it doesn't put you on any lists or anything like that. It'll just help you get logged in so that you can do the application, but it's not a requirement.
And the application also will walk you through the single sign or creating a single sign-on. So if you go to the admissions page and click apply now, it'll ask you to log into your church account. If you don't have a church account, which is essentially a single sign-on, similar to like using your Google login information in another location, there's a button that says create a church account.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. When is the Mentor Bridge Scholarship opening again?
So the Mentor Bridge Scholarship is available for any BYU Pathway term, but you have to work with your mentor in order to qualify for that. They're the only one that can actually grant that.
And the Mentor Bridge Scholarship is not intended to be a long-term solution or something that's offered multiple times. It's really meant to just bridge the gap during a semester of need. Okay. Courtney says my application was submitted and accepted. Awesome. I accepted and sent in the next steps, which was choosing my major and certificate. My classes don't show up, but I got an email for a ticket. Will someone get with me? So Courtney, if you have gone in and submitted a ticket, which it sounds like you have, someone will be in touch. So after you submit your ticket, you get an email notification saying your ticket was received. And then typically within 48 hours, someone is reaching out trying to resolve whatever issue you've mentioned. Does BYU Pathway have an online nursing program?
We do not have an online nursing program. We do have a bachelor's degree in applied health, but it might cover some of the prerequisites to do a nursing program, but we don't have nursing.
When is it available in the education field to become, what is available in the education field to become a teacher?
Oh, good question. We have right now, I think the closest thing we have to teaching is our teaching English as a foreign language certificate that is offered within our business bachelor's degree. Outside of that, we don't have anything that directly goes into education.
Yeah, and part of the reason for that is the education track in every university, or every state or country, there's different requirements to get that certificate specifically. And so we don't offer teaching at this time. But as Kenzie said, teaching English as a foreign language is probably the closest. Okay, I just finished my application for BYU Idaho to begin my certificate. Awesome. My bishop has not completed my endorsement. Will I be okay? Do I have to wait for the decision to begin signing up for classes? Yes. Okay. So one, you're going to be okay. Your bishop and your stake president still have a few weeks to get that completed. So the final deadline to have your application finished for the online certificates and degrees is September 11th. So you've got just over 2 weeks, and you will be able to register for your classes or sign up for your classes after all of that is done. I'm not able to matriculate my classes because it says only for other people outside the U.S. So Jose, there could be different things happening. And I would submit a ticket if I were you. So in your student portal in the lower right-hand corner, you're going to be able to submit a ticket. But it sounds like so anyone, no matter where they live, as long as they're eligible for BYU Pathway, are able to matriculate if they meet the requirements. So if you don't have a 3.0 or higher, you're not going to be able to finish, but you can go back and retake a section of Pathway Connect if you need to. But you should be eligible to matriculate so long as you meet that requirement. So I would recommend submitting a ticket. Okay, so this is from John. I am from Bolivia, and I and finalizing a lecture about BYU-Pathway, and I want the opportunity to be able to work in the United States. So it's in Spanish, so I'm decent at reading. So if someone that's really good at reading Spanish and that's not the sentiment of this question, please help. So Ken's is better at speaking than I am. But
tell me what you want to say and I'll try to
translate
I'll
for
try
me.
to translate it.
Yeah. So with BYU-Pathway, you are going to receive a U.S. accredited degree through BYU Idaho or Ensign College.
Con BYU-Pathway puedes tener una licenciatura a través de BYU-Pathway con BYU Idaho or Ensign College.
And so a lot of U.S. companies like that you have a U.S. degree.
Muchas compañías de los Estados Unidos les gustan que tienes una licenciatura a través de una universidad en los Estados Unidos.
But it's not designed to get you a job and move to the United States.
Pero no hay una manera de no ofrecemos recursos para ofrecer empleo en los Estados Unidos. I'm sure I butchered that, but
so
hopefully the sentiment is there.
Okay. Is there still time to do the Heber J. Grant Scholarship?
Yes.
Yes. So after you enroll, but before you pay your tuition, you're going to be able to do that. And it's going to be in your finances tab in your student portal. So you still have a couple weeks.
It actually just, I think, pops up on the main screen. So
yeah. We try, we push it pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we want you to get that discount.
Yes.
Okay. This is from Jonathan. He says, does Ensign College offer internship jobs for international students?
You go ahead.
So from what I understand, there is some opportunities and some assistance to try to help with finding an internship, but I don't know the specifics of that. So Jonathan, if you want to send us a direct message, we'll ask our colleagues at Ensign so that we can give you a better answer. Do you guys accept financial aid? So
I would say that question depends, right? So if you have a private scholarship, yeah, we would accept that. We also have a couple of financial aid opportunities or financial discounts that we offer through BYU-Pathway that we talked about before. So basically, just quick recap, there's a module in your student portal after you apply. It's called the Heber J. Grant module. You just put in some of your information, read about the life of Heber J. Grant, and that'll qualify you for either a 10, 25, or 50% off scholarship. Every student is guaranteed at least 10%. And then stacking with that, you can get our Return Missionary Scholarship if you've returned home from your mission within the last 5 years. So you're eligible for that scholarship from the day you get home up to 5 years. And those two discounts stack. And
all right, how do I apply from Nigeria?
Okay, so if you're looking at applying to BYU-Pathway, you're going to go to byupathway.edu/admissions, and you can read about application options there, and then just follow the prompts to apply. So you'll log in with your church account. If you don't have a church account, you'll be prompted to create one. And if you're applying to start Pathway Connect, I think it takes like 10 to 20 minutes. It's a very fast application process. And then online degree, if you're looking at that route, it's a little bit more time, but you can at least get it started very quickly.
Okay, so I'm done with PC 103 and I need to start my application. Where do I go?
Student portal, upper right corner, where it has the little person icon. Click there and you'll be able to, it has an option for you to apply to your online degree program.
Yep. All right. I start in PC 103. Do I need to apply to BYU-I tonight for my first university credit? No. Great question. So During PC 103, you are still under the BYU Pathway application, even though you are starting your first certificate class with PC 103. You will have opportunities during Pathway Connect 103 to start your application and be prompted to walk through that experience. But great question. Can a degree holder from the Philippines still apply to BYU Hawaii and get the return missionary discounts? So Cedar, I think there's some confusion. So BYU Hawaii is only they only offer first degrees. So if you already have a bachelor's degree, you can't go to BYU Hawaii on campus, is my understanding. Now you can get a second degree from BYU-Pathway, and it would be a BYU Idaho or Ensign College online degree. And you would qualify for the return missionary tuition discount as long as you've returned home in the last 5 years. So quick recap, the return missionary tuition discount is good for 5 years from the day you return home from your mission. And that can be stacked with the Heber J. Grant tuition discount. Those discounts are specific to BYU Pathway students, whether you're in Pathway Connect or an online certificate and degree program. And so that's what those tuition discounts are eligible for. It would not stay with you if you were to transfer to BYU Hawaii or another location. This is from Tula. Am I still able to apply for the Heber J. Grant Scholarship?
Yes. In your student portal, either in the finance tab or on the main page, you'll see an option to complete that module. It's very fast and easy. Well, it takes about an hour. Relatively fast.
Relatively fast. Okay. This is from Sean. I'm starting PC 103 and my introductory course. When do I transfer my credits from previous college?
So that will happen when you apply to your online degree program in January, for January.
Yep. Great. Do you have a list of which certificates and degrees are offered at BYU Idaho versus Ensign College after BYU Pathway? So if you go on BYUPathway.edu, there's going to be a certificates and degrees button. And if you go to the degree list, it's not separated out by college or by who offers it, but it is separated out by different certificates and degrees. And so then it'll show you right there, oh, communication is offered by Ensign College. So you're going to be able to see that information, but it's not broken down by, oh, these are what's available through BYUI versus Ensign College. Do I need to get an ecclesiastical endorsement while I'm getting my first certificate? Yes.
Yes. In the online degree program, you do need an ecclesiastical endorsement.
So is there a remote job while studying in BYU Pathway?
There can be.
Yeah, so we are working to help facilitate some remote jobs. Not everywhere has them yet, but if you qualify for a remote job, in your student portal, you'll be able to access that. And so if you give me just 1 second, I'll give you the specific instructions. All right. So if you go to BYUPathway.edu/career-services. So it's BYUPathway.edu/career-services. There is more information on that page about online employment opportunities, finding a job, making connections, how to really get started with some networking tips, finding a group that you can get connected to. So a lot of great opportunities there. But not every, we really try hard to facilitate professional opportunities without directly offering jobs. Okay, we answered that one. This is from Lori. When does the Mentor Bridge Scholarship open again?
Oh, we already answered that too.
Yep. So the Mentor Bridge Scholarship is really meant to be not a long-term solution. It's really just a short-term solution for a semester or two. Really not intended to be a long-term solution. But the Mentor Bridge Scholarships open when the semester opens. Okay, when you finish the first or second certificate but still owe institute classes, do you not get the official certificate, just transcript showing your results? So I think what you might be saying is if you finish Pathway Connect, those Pathway Connect, the certificate is available only online. It's not something that we mail or print. If you are referencing an official certificate from BYU Idaho or Ensign College, if you have finished all of those requirements, you need to still apply for that certificate to say, hey, I finished all of the requirements for the GPA, for the coursework needed for that certificate to indicate that you've finished. When is the last day to register for classes?
September 11th, right?
So for BYU Idaho and Ensign College Online, September 11th.
Okay.
For BYU-Pathway, we will let you in up until September 15th as long as we have space available. So I tried to join to finish my certificate, but I don't know how to continue on. What do they do?
For a certificate.
Yeah.
So you're going to go to BYUpathway.edu/admissions, or you can click apply for free in the upper right-hand corner, and you'll go the returning student route and fill out the application there to come back.
Awesome. So if you're just joining us, I'm Brooke.
I'm Kenzie.
And this is You've Got Questions.
We've got answers.
I love it. So we're going to be on for another probably 15 minutes or so trying to answer just as many questions as we can. And then we're going to come back again and hit it strong. Okay, so this is from Ula. Do I have to have my seminary courses finished to enter BYU Pathway or BYU Idaho?
You have to be, so seminary classes are typically for students 18 and younger. If you are 18 or older, you can join BYU Pathway whether or not you've completed seminary.
Yeah. And you don't have to have graduated from seminary
at any requirement.
It's not a requirement. Okay. This is from Godswill. I graduated from BYU Idaho with a BSc in applied technology. I want to pursue another degree with a different field. Can I start another PC 101? So Godswill, I've got some great news for you. You don't have to go back. If you've already finished Pathway Connect, you don't have to start back at PC 101. You can pick right back up with BYU Idaho or Ensign College Online. You'll want to get that application started now. You've got 2 hours to get it started, so that you can begin classes in September. But you don't have to start all the way back at the beginning. We like to say once a BYU Pathway student, always a BYU Pathway student. And so
Coining all these phrases.
I know.
We like to say these.
We like to say these things. And so you'll be able to start right back up, and we would love to have you back. Okay, so how am I able to register in Spanish?
Okay. Ir a nuestra página BYUpathway.edu y en la esquina de a la derecha, haz un clic on apply for free y apply.
Yeah. So that apply now button.
Apply now.
Yeah. BYU Pathway solamente en inglés.
Solamente ofrecemos clases en inglés. Así que hay un examen que tienes que cumplir para el proceso de aplicar.
Can you explain the way step by step, please? So you'll go to that upper right-hand corner that says, so BYUpathway.edu. You're going to click on either apply for free. That will take you to our admissions page, or you can go directly to BYUpathway.edu/admissions. You'll scroll down to the button that says apply now. And when you click on that button, it will pop open another window that will have information if you're a new student or a returning student. So if you're a new student, you're going to click on that button, and then it will take you to a single sign-on page where it will ask you to log in using your church credentials. If you are not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you can still apply and enroll. Or if you don't have a church account, either way, you will be prompted to create an account. There'll be a little button underneath with more information, and we would love to help. So if you have additional questions, please let me know. We'll be on for another 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll be on again before the end of the night. How much time will it take to get a bachelor's degree from BYU-Pathway?
So it can take a minimum of 3 years. So all of our degrees now are between 90 and 104 credits, depending on which one you choose. And depending on how many classes you're taking every term, you can finish in as little as 3 years. But even if you don't get it done within 3 years, because of that offering, you're going to be paying less money and overall taking fewer credits. And so it's going to get you through faster no matter what.
Yep. Once I finish Pathway Connect, can I be able to complete a master in BYU?
If you're interested in completing a master's at BYU, you'll have to go to their website, look at their requirements, and go through that process with them.
Yeah.
BYU-Pathway offers degrees up to bachelor's.
But you can go in and apply for a master's. Like the degree you're going to earn through us will qualify
it has
you
the accreditation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does BYU have clinical medicine practice?
BYU in Utah, they're starting a medical school.
Yeah. So BYU Pathway does not have clinical medical classes, but we do have a degree in applied health, which is really more about community programming and making sure there's healthy opportunities and programs available where you live.
And it may cover some prerequisites for a medical program. You just have to look into it.
Yeah. Good evening. I have a question. I study a laboratory here in Ecuador, and my schedule will not allow me to study Pathway, but I applied now and I'm enrolled. Please help me with a possible solution.
That is a really good question. And a lot of our students are in a similar situation where they're trying to balance work with school. So if you are so you can choose a gathering time when you're not at work, and then you can plan to take your classes in windows of time where you're not at work. But I mean, that's the main solution, is that it's online. There's a lot of flexibility, and you can kind of plan around your schedule.
Yeah. And one of the best pieces of advice that I have ever received was praying, including God in your studies and saying, hey, here are my goals. Here's what I want to accomplish. Here's the time that I have to do it. Can you help magnify my time? Can you help me do this faster or more efficiently? And it might mean, hey, right now is not the time, I need to take a pause. But it might be, hey, now's an opportunity to ask for assistance and receive it from the Spirit. Okay, we answered that one. I just finished registering for Pathway Connect 101 in the first week of the month. I don't know if it's already okay since my portal is not showing anything. I'm worried if I'm already enrolled or my registration is not working. So Shailene, you unfortunately are not unique to this issue. We've heard a few people say that they're having issues logging into their portal. I know yesterday there was a known issue and it was down for a little while. So if you haven't tried to log in today, I would try that.
Well, I think she's saying she can log in, but her class isn't showing up. Is that right?
Hold on. I don't know if it's already okay since my portal is not showing any. Okay, you are able to log in, but your portal's not showing your class. Okay, so in your student portal, in the lower right-hand corner, there's going to be an option for you to submit a ticket. You should, if you've registered, on the left-hand side in your student portal, it should show your gathering time and who your missionaries are and who your mentor is. And so there might just be a glitch. So I would submit a ticket. So again, in your student portal, in the lower right-hand corner, there's going to be a button for you to submit a ticket. I was accepted in the family program. Can I change to the business program better? Yes. So if you want to change what your degree is in, you can make that change. You just may end up taking or spending more time in school because some of your classes may not, translate into the other degree program.
Yeah, depending on where you're at.
Yep. Can I take classes only in the afternoon?
No. You can take classes whenever it's convenient for you. So if you're in Pathway Connect, you will have a 1 hour a week gathering that you'll schedule when is best for you. But as far as working on the coursework, it's all according to your schedule. So it's flexible.
I'm 41 years old and single. Can I still study at BYU campus or get a course in BYU-Pathway?
If you want to go to a campus, then you'll have to go to the campus's website and get their application, go through the application process there. If you're interested in studying with BYU-Pathway, yes, that is an option. Go to byupathway.edu/admissions and then apply now. And you can start working through the application process. Start it tonight. Just a reminder, this is our enrollment deadline. That just means that you need to start your application today. Especially if you're moving on to an online degree with BYU Idaho or Ensign College, be sure to start that today for Pathway Connect. Make sure that you start today because this is the last day that it's guaranteed that you'll get a spot. And then everyone who applies after today, will do our best to get you in.
Yeah. So this question is, hello and thanks. In my country, it's already very late. I started the application process. I've already taken the vocab and listening test. Can I finish the application tomorrow? Yes. So you just need to have started it today. So go to bed, get some rest, and finish it tomorrow. Hello, my name is Thigo. I'm Brazilian and I live in Canada. I need the English Connect program to enroll in BYU-Pathway and there's no English Connect here. What should I do? Depending on what part of Canada you're in, there are classes for English Connect 1, 2, and 3 is done online. And so you can go to englishconnect.org to learn more. And if you go to englishconnect.org/PT, you're going to be able to see the website in Portuguese to get help. So it is possible to enroll online for English Connect.
And just a quick reminder, the registration deadline for English Connect 3 is today as well to start your application.
Start it, yeah. So you've got until September 15th to finish it.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to be on for another 10 minutes or so, and we'll get through just as many questions as we can. If you're just joining us, I'm Brooke.
I'm Kenzie.
And this is You've Got Questions.
We've hopefully have your answers.
We're doing pretty good. We haven't been stumped quite.
Decent.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, how can I register at BYU-Pathway if it does not have an account with the church? What is the step? Okay.
Yeah. Are you
it's like
I know we're like, who's
gonna do it? We're just so excited to answer it, Alfred. Okay, so you're gonna go to BYU-Pathway.edu, and in the upper right hand corner, you'll click Apply for Free. It'll take you to the admissions page. You'll click on the Apply Now button, and that will allow you to start your application. It will ask you to log in using your church account, but if you don't have a church account, underneath it, it will ask you if you want to create a church account. And so it's a great and easy way to be able to go in and create a free church account. So it's fairly easy. I'm just pulling it up to give you the exact language, but you'll just start your application and it'll go through and tell you that, which is great. I'm not a member of the church. Do I need an endorsement by a religious leader to start BYUI, or my Pathway certificate is enough? So you will.
Yes, you will need an endorsement. So typically this is how it works. If you have a religious leader in your community that can do your first interview, that is perfectly acceptable. And then
so what kind of religious leader might it be?
It could be a pastor, it could be a rabbi, it could be any religious leader.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm running out. I know there are a lot more than that, but a bishop, anything. Yeah. And then after you do that interview with a local leader, or it could be a leader from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So you have some different options there. After that preliminary interview, either BYU Idaho or Ensign College will make arrangements for you to meet with a chaplain from either of those universities, and they'll do your what would be a stake presidency interview. They'll do like the second interview round with you.
Yeah. Please help. I have been finding it difficult to re-enroll. Okay, so what you're going to do is the same first part of the process. So BYUpathway.edu/admissions or BYUpathway.edu, and in the upper right-hand corner, click on that Apply for Free. And then when you go to Apply Now, a window will pop up, and you're going to scroll down to the Returning Student form. And that's where you're going to be able to click and re-enroll in BYU Pathway. So if you have additional questions or things aren't working out, please send us an email.
Or a DM.
That's what I meant. A direct
Don't
message.
email us.
A direct message will be faster.
Yes.
Good evening. I just became a service missionary for BYU-Pathway,
Cool.
watching from Peru. Oh, we're so
Awesome.
excited. Thank you so much for your service. This is awesome. Okay, this is from Cambodia. Thank you for BYU-Pathway Worldwide, which I started and completed in 2020. After completing, I've continued my educational journey with BYU Idaho as an online student for a few semesters, and now I'm here at BYU Hawaii as a transfer student. I am sure without BYU Hawaii, I would not be able to continue in my educational path. Education is a lifelong journey. Oh my gosh!
So awesome.
We love it. Will you DM us? We're looking for great stories all over the world and would love to hear more. Okay, this is from Jamsil. What should I do to continue my studies in BYU-Pathway? I was going a lot back then, and I passed PC 103 but failed my introductory certificate. Could I apply for online degree classes, or should I start over with Pathway Connect?
So in order to go on to online degree, you will have to pass your Pathway Connect courses. So that same application process.
So she passed her Pathway Connect courses but failed the introductory certificate.
Yeah, so doesn't she still have to go back and do PC 103 with that first certificate course?
That's a great question, but I am.
You might need to DM us with your
Send us a
information so
DM.
that we can send us a direct message either on Instagram and Facebook.
So, and if you are eligible to enroll in BYU Idaho or Ensign College
Do it.
online, in your student portal, it'll note that.
Yeah.
So if you go log into your student portal, you see the people icon, click on that, and if you're eligible to apply for an online certificate or degree program, you'll be able to start that process. So you've got about an hour and 45 minutes to do that. So make sure you do it.
If not, go through that same returning student process that we
Yeah.
showed.
Can you switch from one program to another?
Yes. If you want to change your degree, best way to do that is to contact your mentor. Please realize that depending on where you are in your degree, that may add length between now and when you can graduate.
Mm-hmm. How can I talk with a supervisor, manager, advisor, not a student advisor? So Shelly, one thing that you can do, the best thing to do is to submit a ticket in your student portal. And so if you go into your student portal in the lower right-hand corner, there is going to be a chat bot for you to submit a ticket. And you can note any questions or concerns. And the team is full of full-time and part-time employees that will be able to help answer your questions. Is there a possibility to change my schedule for class?
To change the classes that you're taking?
To change your schedule. So maybe take it at a different time.
Like a Pathway Connect gathering?
I'm
I don't know.
not sure.
Yeah. That one we might need a little bit more information on. If you're in Pathway Connect and you're wanting to change your gathering time, you will probably have to submit a ticket for that. If you're in the online degree program and you're asking to change a class that you're taking, again, you'd have to submit a ticket.
Yeah.
So
from Precious, hello, I'm new here today. Welcome. We're so happy to have you. So if you're just joining us, Ken's, what is BYU-Pathway?
BYU-Pathway Worldwide is an affordable online degree option for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and friends of the church. And it's basically just the way that you can earn a bachelor's degree in a minimum of 3 years at a really low, affordable cost.
I love it. Okay, this is from, I'm about to complete my application for a certificate course in medical billing and coding. Oh, awesome.
That's a tough one. Good job.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Ola, please, can I get requirements for the inscription? I live in Utah.
For registration?
I think so.
Okay. So should I do it in Spanish or in English?
The rest of dealer's choice. Why don't you do it in Spanish and I'll do it in English after?
Okay, you do it in English first, and then I'll do it.
So BYU-Pathway, you need to be 18 or older in order to get started. You don't need a high school diploma. If you are 16 or 17 and have a high school diploma, you can get started, or secondary school diploma. And BYU-Pathway is currently only available in English, and so you need to pass a free English assessment. There's no application fee. There's no tests. There's no major requirements other than a willingness to learn and to be able to speak English.
All right, here we go. Tenemos un par de requisitos para registrar en BYU-Pathway. Tienes que tener 18 años o más y no necesitas exámenes, pero si no hablas o si inglés no es tu idioma nativo, tienes que cumplir un examen. Y what else? 18, no tests except for an English test.
Mhm.
What am I missing? It's
That's
hard
it.
to do this in 2 languages. Y eso es todo.
That's all. All right. I have a balance on my account after finishing PC 103, but I passed with an A. What should I do? So, you're going to have a balance. You can't move on to online certificates and degrees if you have a balance due on your account. So in order to progress and move to the next level, you'll need to pay that financial hold before you can move on to the next step. I have a question. I did all the terms, but I'm missing 1.5 credits. How can I reapply? I tried, but I don't know what's right because I can't see my upcoming classes. So are you currently enrolled? So it says I did all the terms, but I'm missing 1.5 credits. Can I reapply? So yes, you can reapply to come back. So you're just going to say that you're a returning student. If you are an online certificate and degree student, you want to get that application started in the next hour and a half in order to enroll in classes this September. So BYU-Pathway.edu, apply for free, apply now, returning student. I applied and received the Heber J. Grant Scholarship, but had to withdraw from the course. My scholarship expired or no?
No, it didn't expire, but if you withdrew, you will have to go in and reapply and likely complete the Heber J. Grant Scholarship module again.
Mm-hmm. I'm currently enrolled in BYU Pathway, and recently when I applied for the Heber J. Grant tuition discount, I could not finish it because it said that I was outdated. Why is that? Great question.
Yeah, that's odd.
Antoinette, have you finished that application previously? If you enrolled in the springtime and you did this tuition discount, you don't need to do it again. So if you already have the tuition discount applied from a previous semester, it's good for up to 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not the case, send us a message. We'll do what we can.
Mm-hmm.
So they always do. It makes it difficult so people can't get the scholarship. Pretty sure you won't get it. We want as many people as possible to get the Heber J. Grant tuition discount. We are sending out reminders and WhatsApp messages and texts. We want people to get the Heber J. Grant tuition discount. So please make sure if you're having issues still, please send us a message so that we can help. In your student portal, you can also submit a ticket and say, hey, I'm trying to do this. I'm not seeing it. What's the issue? And they'll be able to help. So in your student portal, in the lower right-hand corner, you're going to be able to submit a ticket. After completing BYU Pathway, what's the requirement to pursue a bachelor's degree?
Okay, so this is kind of a fun fact. When you complete Pathway Connect and you still want to pursue your degree online, you're going to remain a BYU Pathway student, but you're going to apply to receive your online degree either through Ensign College or BYU Idaho. So log into your portal, click the person icon in the upper right corner, and you'll have an apply option. So you'll still be a BYU Pathway student, but you'll also be either a BYU Idaho student or an Ensign College student.
Yeah, and the requirements to after Pathway Connect, you need to have at least a 3.0 GPA, so a B average in your coursework. And then you need to complete an ecclesiastical endorsement. So that means you just need to meet with a local religious leader, either from your church or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And then you're going to want to you'll need to meet with the chaplains for BYU Idaho or Ensign College. That they'll just sort of go over the honor code and make sure that you're prepared to live the honor code. After graduating after finishing Pathway Connect, now I've applied to be a BYU Pathway service missionary, a wonderful way to share how the program changes lives. I love that. That's awesome. Tell us more.
Yeah.
I completed Pathway Connect about 8 years ago. I want to start working on a certificate or degree. There were no certificates then. Should I take Pathway again or maybe PC 103? Which rate would I receive? Okay, so if you finish Pathway Connect with a 3.0 or higher, or finish Pathway, because that's what it was called back then, you don't have to start over. You can start with online certificates and degrees. So if you go to BYU-Pathway.edu and go to login, if you can still log in, if you finish Pathway Connect with 3.0 or higher, you should be eligible to go on directly to online certificates and degrees, and you will pay the current Pathway Connect price in whatever country you live. So if you live here in the United States, you would pay $83 a credit. Hi, I am BYU Idaho and finished my first certificate of my bachelor's degree. Am I able to transfer to classes on campus?
Great question. You likely can, but that all goes through BYU Idaho. So you'll have to go through their website, check out what their application requirements are, and do that all through BYU Idaho.
Mm-hmm. So
that's where we both went.
It's
great.
true.
It's a great place.
And it's a great place. Can I participate in person in graduation, and where do I go?
100%. So you will get communication, or you'll get an email when you are eligible to apply for graduation. You'll apply for graduation, and then you'll either go to Rexburg, Idaho, if you're graduating from BYU Idaho, or Salt Lake City, Utah, if you're graduating from Ensign College. And we do a big celebration for all of our graduates. We have a lot of fun swag for you, and it's really a great time.
It's the best. I'm a specialist leader and teacher for English Connect 1 and 2 at the state level.
Awesome.
You are a busy bee, because you just said that you're a service missionary and you're teaching English Connect. I love it. Hi, I enrolled for BYU-Pathway while I was in a certain state in Nigeria, and I'm no more in that state. What should I do? So it doesn't matter what state in Nigeria you live. You can keep doing BYU-Pathway exactly where you are.
But if they're in Pathway Connect,
yeah,
and they need to change, can they still join the same virtual gathering, or do they have to change their?
Yep. Okay. So that you can still join the same virtual gathering. If you're going to an in-person gathering, you would need to switch that. But if you want to stay with your virtual or online gathering group, you would be able to do that even though you've moved to a different part of Nigeria. How do I transfer my institute credits to BYU Idaho online?
So those institute credits that you take with Pathway Connect, they should just automatically go over into BYU Idaho or Ensign College.
Yep. Hello, if I get out in the 2023 in PC3, how can I return to the class? Okay, so if you left and you're ready to come back to Pathway Connect, you're going to go to BYU-Pathway.edu. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to click that Apply for Free button. And then you're going to scroll down to Apply Now. And then you're going to scroll down again to Returning Student Form. So we would love to have you come back, BYU-Pathway.edu. All right. How to know my church registration number? So if you are working on your creating a church account, the executive secretary in your branch or ward will be able to help with that. Hi, sisters. I'm currently enrolled in BYU Pathway, and recently when I applied for the Heber J. Grant tuition discount, I could not finish it because it said it was outdated. Why is this? We don't know.
Well, it could go back to what you were saying. It could go back to if you've already completed the Heber J. Grant tuition discount module, then it wouldn't let you take it again. And so that could be it. Or if it's not that, if you're positive you haven't taken it within the last 2 years, go log into your student portal, click the chat in the bottom right corner, and submit a ticket.
Yeah, we want to help. So if that doesn't work, send us a direct message and we'll do our best to get you an answer.
Yeah.
I am a returning student. I stopped 3 years ago. How do I enroll again? I don't have my BYU account login anymore. So the good news is your account login is actually your church account login. So if you go to BYU-Pathway.edu, you're going to do that same process and say that you're a returning student. So apply for free, apply now, returning student form. And it's not going to ask you for your BYU Pathway login. It's going to ask for your church login. And if you need help restoring that password or more information, it'll walk you through how to do that. Good day to you all. I wanted to ask that when I'm done with my Pathway Connect classes, when I'm choosing a degree, can I do 2 at once?
I don't know.
So what we recommend you do is actually finish 1 degree first and then come back and do the second degree. Now, you won't have to do your general education classes again if it's back to back. And so you'll only really need to focus in on your major classes.
It's very ambitious.
Yes. Hello, is the degree accredited in South Africa?
So you can, okay, it gets a little bit complicated because the universities that grant the degrees, BYU, Idaho, and Ensign College, are accredited in the United States. But there's a process for having that accreditation acknowledged in your country.
Mhm.
And specifically for South Africa, you'd have to go through processes there to get it acknowledged, but it is accredited in the United States.
And a lot of universities and businesses, like if you're wanting to go to a master's program or to get local employment, they look very favorably on U.S. accredited degrees. And BYU, Idaho, and Ensign College have really good reputations worldwide. I am Clarence from the Philippines, and I am grateful for BYU-Pathway. I heard about HSEF giving free laptop. May I ask how to apply for free laptop from Help Start Education Foundation? So Lorenzo, I don't have that information handy. So why don't you send us a direct message and we'll get you connected to the right people. So if you're tuning in, there are a couple of local foundations that have been interested in trying to help students in Africa, the Philippines, and the Pacific get laptops. There are some different requirements from each of the foundations. And so if you have questions, you can send us a direct message. Last semester, I did my module and I got a 60%. When I was doing my registration, they asked me to retake the module, yet I got the pass mark. What can I do? So it's going to be best to retake it. So a 60% is not, it's not going to help you with your getting a 3.0 to be able to matriculate and go on to BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College online. So I would recommend that you retake the module. I passed all my classes from Pathway Connect 101 to 103, and I'm on the Hope Scholarship and HJG. Why do I have a balance? Can you send us a direct message? So the Hope Scholarship is a private scholarship that's available to certain areas or regions of the world. It's a localized scholarship. And so send us a direct message. We can try to look into it, but you may need to reach out to the Hope Scholarship Foundation. If I'm studying now at virtual, could I study in person?
You can study in person, but you'd have to go to the university's website where you want to study in person and look at their application requirements and everything. So we don't have anything to do with that.
Yeah. So we're going to stay live for another 3 minutes and work through just a few more questions, and then we'll come back on again here in a little bit. Is there a criminal justice major for BYU-Pathway?
No, we don't offer that.
All right. When is the application deadline?
The application deadline to start your application is today, especially if you're trying to start at BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College in September. Make sure that you start your application today.
So you've got about 90 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
So midnight Mountain Time.
Yep. So for Pathway Connect, if you want a guaranteed spot, applied today. We're going to try to get as many people in who apply after today as possible, but today's the last day that it's guaranteed.
As an international student, where can I get any merch? I would love to have a hoodie. So if you go to byupathway.edu/merchandise, there is a link right now. Our merchandise is available through the BYU Idaho bookstore for online purchases, and we're working on a few other things. Please help me. How can I change my schedule for the virtual gathering?
So you'll need to submit a ticket for that in your portal. So go ahead and log in the bottom right-hand corner, click the chat button, and then you'll be able to submit what your request is and get help changing that.
Do you also provide master's classes?
We do not provide masters. We just go up to bachelor's.
How many blocks total is the Pathway Connect program? 3?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's 3 terms. It takes about 6 months.
How can I replan my degree to a 3-year degree? I already got a confirmation that my requests were approved. Okay, great question. So you're going to work with an advisor to create a grad plan for the 3-year degree. Is there a support email to send questions if you are already a student? So the best way to submit, to reach out to support is to submit a ticket. So in the lower right-hand corner of your student portal, there's a chat bot, and you're going to want to access that in order to submit a ticket. Can you please explain what you mean by blocks on the application? So a block is a 7-week term. So that's how long the class is. So a semester is typically 14 weeks or 2 7-week blocks. And we've got just 2 more minutes to answer as much as we can, and then we'll come back on again. How can I change my schedule for the virtual gathering? So we just answered that. You're going to submit a ticket. Is the 3-year degree all taken online? Yes. Without BYU-Pathway, I will never get a bachelor's degree coming from a poor family in a poor country. Oh. We are here to help. It has been so great to be with you for the last hour. We're going to take a short break and we'll come back on again to answer more questions. Thanks so much for joining us.